Hello and welcome to the very first live Facebook broadcast from the Airplane Partnerships group. On behalf of myself and my team, I'd like to wish you and your family a very happy and prosperous new year. My name is DC Surface. I'm the founder of this group. This group started about a little over 9 years ago, and it's just very exciting as to where we're at and where we've got. We literally grew from starting it from one member to we have over 45,000 members in the group. And I know that everybody's in this group searching for something different, but it all boils down to looking for a partnership. The experience levels are all over the place in here, and that's exciting to us because I'm going to give you the purpose of why we're here. But first, I'd like to introduce my team to you. Josh Harrington is one of the administrators. If you have any questions or anything, he'll probably answer them in the comments. And we also have Debbie Forcier Lynn. We're all partners in a different sense, if you will, in business and not an airplane yet. But anyway, um, let me talk about the purpose of this group and the purpose of the Airplane Partnership Group and what we're really all about. We're kind of sort of going to give you a flight plan, if you will, and kind of guide you to affordable airplane partnership. And I know a lot of you have a lot of different experience levels in here. Some of you been in not only partnerships but clubs and things like that before. And some of you are brand new in here. And so this may be guided kind of like to the ones that are brand new in here, haven't been into it a while, and would like to know just exactly what to expect and what's going to happen as you go on your journey looking for an airplane partnership. Um, so, you know, we're all starting from someplace different, and I'll be real honest with you. I'm going to measure the success of this group literally by not only the experienced partnership person or pilot, but mainly to the person who's sitting there dreaming about flying and thinking there's no way, absolutely no way that I could ever afford to fly or own an airplane. And I think as you go through, we go through the session and stuff here and the many sessions to come and present you with some education and things that we're all about, that you'll find that that's not the case. You'll find that this is actually obtainable and I can obtain this for myself and for some other people, and it's just very exciting. It's really a passion of mine, and it's all about the love and fun of flying. So with that, let's go ahead and get into this thing a little bit. So why are you here? What's in it for you, and what are you going to get out of this thing? Hopefully, well, our mission for Airplane Partnerships really is to provide information and education to the group. We can make airplane affordable ship, and that's what we're going to talk about. How do you make this affordable for you and one or two or three or other people to get into it and have fun with it here? So it's really for anyone dreaming of owning an airplane and furthering their ratings and their experience and the love of flying within the aviation world. I know I've certainly been there, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story here in a minute. Um, but this is your journey as well. And that's what we're here for. That's the purpose. We're here to educate you and help you on your way to your journey to obtain the ultimate partnership for you. And I don't think this will be your first one. I've been in multiple partnerships. I've actually owned 7 different partner or airplanes in partnerships, and every one of them have been just unbelievable partnerships. And that's why I'm such a huge advocate for airplane partnerships. Even if you can stroke a check for this and do it all on your own, it's one, it's not as much fun. And two, why not split the cost of airplane ownership among other people? Or if you can afford it, help somebody else get into it who necessarily can't afford it. That's really the purpose of this. And an airplane's really not designed to sit on the ground; it's designed to fly. And a lot of times they sit. You see them sitting in hangars, you see them sitting on tie downs, and it's like, man, that's really sad that that airplane's just sitting there. somebody else could actually be flying, somebody that you trust and somebody that you know could be flying that airplane, going on vacations, going on trips, business trip, whatever the case may be with it. And you could possibly be the one to help them do that. So, with that, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story. So, I actually got my license back in 1977, and that's going back a ways. Actually flew on and off of a grass strip down in Inverness, Florida. And it was quite exciting at the time because you had to come over power lines and trees and everything you didn't want in your way to hit that landing strip there. But anyway, it all started in 1977 for me. I actually had the dream of flying. I got the bug when I was 5 years old. My father was in the Air Force. So being in the Air Force, living on base, you saw a lot of airplanes. And I can remember at that specific age, I said, someday I'm going to be a pilot. And the first job I got when I got out of high school, I didn't go right to college, but when I got out of high school, I went to work, and that's exactly what I spent my money on was getting my private ticket. And I obtained that, and it's been nothing but a lot of fun and satisfaction from that day forward as far as flying and stuff goes. Um, I obtained my first. I really didn't think about airplane ownership either. And it wasn't until 1990, I was living in Jacksonville, Florida, and saw a little ad in the paper about a partnership, a share of a partnership, a one-fourth share of a partnership for sale in a Cessna 172. And that's the typical airplane that a lot of people start with, some kind of Piper or Cessna, if you will. And anyway, I kind of got excited about that. And I said, "Well, I'm just going to check into this thing. I never thought I could own an airplane. Anyway, one thing led to another. And behold, I was a quarter share owner in a really beautiful yeah, it was a 1974 at the time, Cessna 172. And it was an awesome airplane, my first airplane. And what was more awesome about it was the fact that I had three other partners that could show me the ropes of this. We had a beautiful partnership. We never had any disagreements, which is kind of unheard of. Everybody took care of their responsibilities, whether it was maintenance or the monies or whatever the case may be, the insurance, everything that we needed to make that airplane, to keep that airplane in the sky flying, we did, and we just did it in unison, and it was just such a great experience. I moved on from there, moved from Jacksonville, went up to Indiana to Indianapolis, and got into an equity ownership, and we had four airplanes in there, and it was a great experience as well because a lot of people think that well, scheduling is the biggest deal with this thing that I don't really want to, share the airplane that much, or I don't really think I'm gonna be able to fly it. Well, in the equity ownership group we actually had 10 members per airplane. There was four airplanes in that group, and there was never a time where we didn't have an airplane available to us to fly. Sold that, got out of that, and actually then moved around a little bit, moved down here. I just live north of Atlanta and got back into a partnership with two fantastic partners on a Cherokee 180. And we loved that airplane, painted it, did everything you'd want to do to it. And then we decided we wanted to move up. And that's the other beauty of an airplane partnership is maybe that stretch goal of like, I really, my budget might be a Piper Cub, but you know what? If I can pull five or six other people together, four or five other people together, I can maybe stretch and really get into that A36 Bonanza one day, the dream airplane, right? Or whatever your dream airplane is. And so that's the beauty of the partnership. You can do things like that, and we did. We moved up to a Cessna 206, even though it was just me and my wife flying most of the time in it. It was great when we went on vacations and took the rest of the family and things like that. But it was a whole lot of airplane at that particular time, and we loved it. We just flew all over the place, went on vacation, did everything we could, and just loved flying that airplane. So, and that was an airplane I never thought that I would be able to afford or be able to fly. And lo and behold, there it was. So, anyway, I'm a huge advocate for flying. I do want to talk about some other things here with you, but before I do, want to kind of give you a little disclaimer in that I'm not an attorney, I'm not a CPA, I'm not an insurance person, I'm not a finance person, but these are all the people that you want to get to know and build a relationship with. So let's talk about that a little bit. Things you need knowledge of. That's what we're going to hopefully provide for you with the Airplane Partnership Group. We have a lot of questions that come to us, a lot of DMs and things like that, asking questions. One of the biggest ones probably is around contracts and stuff. And so we would like to be able to pull those resources together for you and offer you benefits like, who do I contact to do legal matters for me? We would like to find those resources for you and make those available to you. How do I, learn about and what do I need to watch out for on the tax implications? That's one of the things we did here was you learn real quick about ad valorem taxes, luxury taxes, sales taxes. I mean, oh my God, things you don't think of that your CPA is going to be able to help you with and talk to you about, and your attorney is as well. So these are people that you want to talk to. You also want to learn about insurance and how does insurance affect what you're doing in a partnership? Well, there's a lot of things that can affect you with insurance. And whether you want to believe it or not, insurance companies today are much different than back in the day, meaning that they have a lot of say in what you can and can't do with your airplane, especially if you're talking about moving up. If you're going to move up to a normally aspirated engine to a turbo charge engine or to a like a PC-12, a Platis PC-12 or something like that, they're going to probably prevent you from doing it unless you have the experience and stuff to do it. But insurance is something that you have to learn about, especially if you move up. If you everybody's going to own a Cessna 172, that's fine. That's really an entry level airplane that somebody that doesn't have their license can own and obtain their license in. And most insurance companies are okay with that. The insurance companies will typically default to the person who has the least amount of experience, and that's what you're going to pay. And rightfully so. It makes sense. But they're also going to dictate to you if you want to move up to a retractable or something, they're going to dictate to you that, hey, we want to see you spend 10 hours or 50 hours or whatever the number is with a CFI to make sure that you're checked out in the airplane. And so that being said, it's kind of fun to, the ultimate partnership would go in one where you got a A&P mechanic, a licensed mechanic, and a CFI. So you have somebody to take care of the airplane and somebody to help you with your flight training and stuff and all your checkouts and stuff. That would be the ultimate. But anyway, so insurance is a really big deal. And of course, the cost of insurance and stuff now just keeps escalating pretty much like everything else has. And so you want to be able to know that, hey, if I get a different type of rating or what can I do to improve my overall abilities and stuff to be able to make insurance a little bit more affordable. So we'll hopefully pull those resources for you together as well. And then the other thing is finance. The ultimate way to own an airplane is free and clear because that takes a whole lot of complexity out of it right then and there. But again, if you're moving up and you've been in a partnership with a group for a while and you're like, hey, let's move on up, you want to be able to talk to a finance company that can help you with that if everybody can't pony up the money for it. And it's, it's just something that's personal because you have, everybody's got to sign personal guarantee on it, even though it's probably in an LLC or something like that, or at least one person does on it, and everybody has to have the credit and everything else to go along with it. So we hope to pull people in that can help you with the finance side of that. I know a lot of people get in, they like to dictate what kind of airplane the group's going to have, so they will buy the airplane themselves and then sell shares. And as they sell the shares out, they pay the airplane off with it. But they've got an airplane that they wanted, then they're looking for partners that want to come in and be a partner with them on that particular airplane. So there's something to be said for that as well. But you want to definitely keep it simple. This doesn't have to be complex. The contracts don't have to be complex. But when you get with your attorney, which I highly recommend, You don't want to, you want to make sure you have everything spelled out in the ownership. You want to make sure you have everything spelled out in how you're going to operate that airplane. You want to make sure you have everybody's responsibilities if they're going to rotate around, how that's going to work. You want to talk about scheduling. We had three people that owned the last partnership I had, and our scheduling was pretty simple. We just rotated weeks. And what that meant was if it was my week, whoever else wanted to fly the airplane, because I may be on a business trip somewhere else and it's just sitting there. So if somebody else wanted to fly it, they just had to ask me first if it was okay. And I said, sure, go ahead. And we never had a scheduling conflict doing that. And people do it all over the board. They do it different ways, and that's fine. There's software out there that I'd like to introduce to you guys later on about scheduling, and it's specifically built for partnerships and things like that, which just helps make things just a little bit simpler for you. But you also want to talk about agreements and disagreements, and uh, what happens when there's a disagreement. That's a big thing, and one of the things is that it usually comes around finance and money. One of the things that you need to look at is like if I have an annual and most annuals cost $3,000, I'm just throwing that number out there because some of them are more, some of them are less. But if I have an annual done and all of a sudden I have a lot of squawks, which are issues with the airplane that need to be fixed to keep it airworthy, and all of a sudden that $3,000 that we spent last year turns into $9,000, which actually happened to us on the last year we owned the Cessna 206. What are you going to do? What are you going to do if somebody comes to you and says, I don't have the money to pay for that? That's an issue. So you need to make sure that everybody's got the resources, or you have some kind of fund that's built up. Most people have an engine rebuild fund and things like that, but you need to make sure that you're all talking about this and not having a surprise when something like this happens to you. Because also you need to lay it out in there, like if one of the partners, has a hard landing or creates some hanger rash, which is runs into something on the airfield, what's going to happen when the other partners now are out of an airplane for probably 6 months while it gets repaired. Those are issues that you need to have in the contract all laid out. And then it's very, very simple. You just go back to the contract when there's a disagreement. And hopefully there's no disagreement. It just says, here it is. I understand what it is. We have it all in writing. This is what we're going to do. And then you actually do it. And that makes it a whole lot less awkward, makes it a whole lot less stressful, it makes it a whole lot more fun to fly. So keeping it simple is what it's all about. It's obtaining an affordable airplane partnership. That's what we're all about, and that's what we want to help you do. So common goals for us is to provide you education. We want to start building things. As a matter of fact, we've got a 35-page book that we're getting ready to release that will be available to you that has a lot of good information in it that you're going to need and want. And especially if you've never been in an airplane partnership before, these are going to give you things to think about. What, what do I need to watch out for? What do I need to assess? How do I approach somebody about, partnership when somebody is advertising a partnership for sale, which you obviously see how many listings we get every week in the airplane partnership group. It's just amazing. And I would love to hear from people in the group that had actually found partners in there. We want to interview you and talk about how you obtained that and how it's going now. And we want to hear all the good stuff, but then we also want to find the people that have all the bad stuff, all the gruesome stuff. Uh, the lack of a better word, the scammer that took all our money, or whatever the case may be, or the fact that we did have a partner that couldn't uphold their end of the finances. What did you do about that? And because a lot of people um, will they get into partnerships because they want to make it affordable, but the average partnership really doesn't go on and on and on forever. Probably the average age, and I'm just throwing this out because one of the things we want to do within this group too is do some case studies to find out just exactly what the information is out there to be able to help you figure this out. But the average age of the group, the partnership might only be 2 years, 3 years, 4 to 5 years. Most of mine lasted 4 to 5 years. And then we were ready to move out, right? It's like, it's like owning a boat, an RV. You're great for 2 years with that boat, but then, oh my gosh, I got to have a bigger one. I got to have a better one. I got to have one that'll go offshore. I got to have one that'll do this, one that'll do that. And you find yourself moving up and moving on. And that's the fun part about it too. That's what it's all about. But so you want to be able to, um, figure out how do I sell this partnership? You want to have a place to be able to advertise that and do it. We, think that um, that you need to have that ability and that place to go to do that. It's hard to sell, and I'm not going to lie to you. It's a little bit harder to sell a share in an airplane than it is to sell the whole airplane. That's actually what happened to us on our last airplane that I owned, which was the Cessna 206, which, by the way, that's the Cessna 206. That's the picture on the airplane partnership group. One of our partners' wives got very sick. They came out of pocket with six figures to make her healthy, which was unreal. And the realization was that he had to sell his share. And we tried to sell the share for a number of months. And then not only that, but you're bringing a new partner in. That's another thing. You're bringing a new partner in that's got to be able that the other partners, the remaining partners, have to approve of and find compatibility with as well. And this is, something that's just a reality. So we just decided to help him out. And it made just total sense just to sell the whole airplane. And lo and behold, it didn't take a month to sell the airplane once we sold the whole thing. But anyway, those are just some of the things that you got to look out for and deal with. Um, the education is what we want to provide for you. We also want to provide resources. We want to pull attorneys and CPAs. And matter of fact, I know a lot of people will see this video down the road a little bit, and if you're a CPA and you're an attorney or you're in the insurance business or the finance business, and if you'd like to go on this journey with us, please reach out to us. Send us a DM and stuff. We would love to talk to you about being a part of us with the Airplane Partnership and being able to provide those resources. Because one of the things we want to be able to do is have consistent live broadcast again to start this off and educate you on partnerships. So the other thing is we want to be able to bring you discounts, things of that nature. That's always fun, right? You're always looking to save some money, make flying a little bit more affordable. We also want to be able to uh, share best practices with you because I don't really have all the answers. All I know is I've had the 7 airplanes where the partnerships were unbelievable. And I just, in my opinion, why wouldn't anybody want to do this? And I know that there are those of you out there that's like, why would anybody want to do this? Because they have a nightmare story. But I guarantee you, if you go back, they were not prepared. They got into the wrong partnership. There was probably a ton of red flags that told them not to do this, and they did it anyway. And then it came back around and bit them. And that's what we want to try to help you avoid. So the other big thing is community. Just like this, we want to have a community of fellow aviators that love the flying and find fun in flying and find fun in ownership because I tell you, you haven't lived until you got the refrigerator in the hangar and you've gone flying somewhere and yeah, there's a few beers in there you can all sit around and have after you're done. Or even better, there's a grill you drag out and all of a sudden the hot dogs and hamburgers are fired up and you're having a good old time just talking and having that community. And that's a lot of fun. We should do a lot of that as well. And I'm sure some of you have as well. So the other thing that I'd like to be able to do is case studies. this is really big in just being able to find out. Like, I know years ago there was some stuff done like, why would you want to own an RV by yourself when it sits probably, you know, most of the year? It just sits and no one uses it. And I know there's personal reasons why, but there was kind of a case study that rolled from that, from the RV industry out into why wouldn't you own an airplane as a partnership? Same thing with boats, yachts, things of that nature. There's a lot of partnerships around yachts. And if you get into the right partnership and you do all your homework up front and you have, somebody like us that's educating you on things like that, it can be a very, very, very pleasant experience and one that you never thought you'd be able to afford. And that's really what it's all about. So case studies and some research is what we really want to be able to provide you as well. And just go give you the information and stuff that you're looking there for. So, um, in closing, I don't want to spend all your time here again. I really appreciate your time, you taking time out of your busy schedule to spend a little bit of time with us here. But we have the flight plan. I said we have a 35-page book coming out. Keep watching for it. We're going to make that available to you here before too long. We post a question, a Q&A session every week, and we'd love for you to participate in that. Anytime that you have a question, you can throw it out to us either through a DM, or I'm going to give you our airplane, or another way to contact us. If you want to email us, you can email us at airplanepartnerships, SHIPS, group at gmail.com. As a matter of fact, if you'll DM or email us, we have a free assessment for you. And the assessment's pretty cool because the assessment is actually something that will determine or help you determine if the airplane ownership and partnership is right for you. So it's a series of questions that you can go through. It'll score you on these questions, and it it it's kind of eye opening as to if you didn't score the right score, maybe airplane partnerships isn't for you. And this will be something that'll help you. At least the questions in here will give you something to think about. So just like I said, send us a DM if you'd like to have that. No charge for that, free. And or send us an email, and we'd love to hear from you. And we will send this back to you as soon as we can, which would be pretty darn quick. So we would like to, like I said, consistently do broadcast on here. We're also going to open up a YouTube channel. So we'll have Josh and Debbie on the YouTube channel with me. We'll be able to bring experts and stuff onto that, interview people that you'll want to hear from on the YouTube and here as well, and provide that service for you. So we'll do that. We also just want to make sure that we're providing everything. We love to hear some feedback from you on what we can do for you, what additional things we can do for you on your journey to affordable airplane partnerships. So with that, I don't really have anything else to say at this particular point in time. I'm just very excited. I'm very excited about where we're going, what we're doing as a group, what we're going to do with you, and what we're going to do for you out there. So, with that said, I would like to say this to you that may you have blue skies and smooth winds ahead. May your altitude always be as high as your spirits and your landings as perfect as your takeoffs. And I wish you safe travels and in everything that you do. And we will talk to you again very soon in another live broadcast. Thanks. Good night. Take care.